morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Treaty 1 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. My name is Carrie Linklater. I'm your chairperson today. To my immediate left is Mr. Jerry Sneesby, and my far left, Mr. Robert Buss. Our city assessor today is Ms. Rebecca McClure, and our admin secretary is Cindy Finson. We will begin hearing applications for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that applicants or the assessor make at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparison of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the board. The board is appointed annually by City Council and is independent of it and the city administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of the evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of Queen's Bench if the matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the matters to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all the evidence about an application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all the applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the order by registered mail as soon as possible. And as information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. You'd like to swear everybody in? Thanks.
Please state your full name.
Rebecca McClure.
Do you swear that the evidence you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks first.
Is everybody?
No, we're gonna do.
The rest first?
Yeah.
Please state your full name.
Douglas Becker.
Do you swear that the evidence you're about to give in this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Becker. And morning, Ms. McClure. So I understand there's recommendations on all of these?
There is.
Okay. So I guess we can start at 1539 Keniston.
Perfect. I'll just read off the file number, read off the base valuation, then read off the recommendation, just for all of these.
Sure.
So file number 17-5564. The total base annual rental value is $109,920. And the recommendation that we have here today on the bottom of that sheet is $106,740.
Okay. Sorry, could you please read off the business ID and the address also, just for the record?
Yes, for sure. So the business assessment ID is 18577, and the address is 1539 Keniston Boulevard, L3.
Mr. Becker, you're in agreement with this?
Yes, we are.
Thank you. Okay.
Next, we have file number 17-5308, business assessment ID 30362, 1585 Keniston Boulevard, K1. The base ARV was $907,680, and the recommendation today is $684,120.
You're in agreement?
Yes.
Thank you.
File number 17-5643, business assessment ID 43669, 1625 Keniston Boulevard. Total ARV for the base was $864,900, and the recommendation today is $848,220.
And you're in agreement? Panel, if you have any questions, just feel free to jump in. If you'd like to proceed.
Thank you. File number 17-5644, business assessment ID 43670. Address is 1625 Keniston Boulevard. Base ARV is 86,280, and the recommendation is 65,880.
Is this based on?
This is
the
not based on the,
realty?
not based on the 2018 realty decision. Mr. Becker and I had conversations prior, and I did some research based on what, this is a gas kiosk, the Safeway gas kiosk, and based on the comparables that we have, that a 150.27 per square foot is fair.
And you're in agreement, Mr. Becker? And 16, the next one?
Sure. File number 17-5543, business assessment ID 35665. Address is 1636 Keniston Boulevard. Base ARV was $1,728,360, and the recommendation today is $1,686,660. And this is the same situation as the previous. $15.07 is what was confirmed at the board. I believe I don't have as many notes on this one. Just a sec. I do have them here though. This is the Rona. Yeah, the realty was based on the $15.07. The $14.65 that we have at today, again, we had a conversation, this $14.65 is actually a step-up rent that's post-reference. So it is higher. Now, based on the research that we've done, the $14.65 to $15.07, I mean, small spread. As you can see with the comparables there, there's 4 that we've included, and they range from $11.84 upwards to $19.50. Now, with that being said, the last 2 are by far the best comparable. So that $14.65, as it is very fair.
Okay.
So we've decided to go forward with that.
Questions?
Mm-hmm.
Questions, Mr. Becker?
What are the last 2, the Meadowwood and Sargent?
So I can't give tenant names. However, Meadowwood is a home improvement lumber store.
Okay.
And the 4th one is the same as the subject.
No. That's good, thank you.
Mr. Becker, you're in agreement with this?
Yes.
Thank you.
So finally, file number 17-5592, business assessment ID 37219. Address is 1665 Keniston Boulevard. Base assessed value is $46,320, and the recommendation we have here today is $48,860.
Based on realty?
So this is a McDonald's inside a Walmart, and so there was negotiations that had gone on, and the $20 per square foot, as I had a conversation with Mr. Bedker, through negotiations, our department and Altus has decided that this is fair.
Okay. Questions, panel? And you're in agreement with this, Mr. Becker?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Please state your full name.
Here to me, Phil.
Do you affirm that the evidence about the given hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's me bursting the flames.
File number 17-5141. Business assessment ID 50508. The address is 1628 Keniston Boulevard. This is the Perkins on Keniston. The ARV that we have here today is $154,680. This is based on 5,032 square feet with an overall rent, including occupancy, of $30.74. As you can see below, based on the 5,032 square feet, all occupancy costs, heat, electric, water, and air conditioning have been attributed. We have a base model rent of $28.39. So then the total occupancy costs are $11,825 to make up that ARV of $154,680. Below that, you can see that the reported actual net rent is $27. This is based on a lease that started December 18th, 2013. That's a 10-year and 9-month lease. So below then we have 4 comparables here. The first one is 2220 McGilvery Boulevard. This is a breakfast restaurant, newer building than the subject. However comparable for the use in which, for the tenant. This is a lease start date of August 18th, 2015, with a 15-year, 4-month lease term. The reported area is 5,747 square feet, so comparable to the subject, with a $31 net rent. Then we have 1663 Keniston Boulevard. This is a restaurant as well, however not a breakfast restaurant. The lease start date is October 26, 2011, a 5-year lease term. The leasable area is 6,246 square feet with a $30 net reported rent. Then we have 1715 Keniston Boulevard, which is a restaurant slash brewery, I could say. So this lease start date is November 1st, 2015, a 15-year, 12-month term. 6,565 square feet with a $29 rent. Rounding that out, we have a restaurant bar on Pembina Highway. So not as a desirable location as the Keniston common area. This lease start date was November 1st, 2014. A 10-year term area is 6,900 square feet with a $25 net rent. So we have a range of $25 to $31 for the comparables. All restaurants, 3 of which are located very close to the subject. The subject is currently a Perkins, was previously another restaurant. Comparable number 4 as well as 3 have similar situations as that, which one's only $1 off of the second, but perhaps that reasoning could be attributed to why some of those rents are lower. The other 2, first 2 comparables are the original restaurants that had gone into those buildings. So with that being said, the 2018 realty appeal for the subject, the rent that was agreed to within that was $31. So we've not asked for an increase on this. We've gone with what our model had said. The $31 rent was not the department's rent that was brought forward. So based on the comparables that we have here today, based on the actual rent that is reported that started in 2013, we ask that the total annual rental value is of $154,680 is confirmed. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yes, please. $27, are you aware that that includes furniture, fixtures, and equipment?
Do you have the lease here?
I don't have the lease, I do have, I don't have.
We have had a conversation, and I'm just gonna ask the questions back, just because we don't have the lease,
Okay.
and we don't, so, no, is the answer.
No, okay. Is furniture equipment taxable?
They're considered chattels.
They're considered chattels, but, so, you
So
would
no.
be, so no, okay. Sorry, I expected harder answers, sorry. Give me a second. Are you aware that your first comparable is a land lease that included an allowance to build it and to finish it?
That includes tenant inducements, things
Just
that-
building it entirely, it's a land lease.
not based on our records, no.
Those are my questions, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Best, did you have questions of the assessor?
No questions, Chair.
Mr. Sneesby?
This is shown as Applebee's restaurant?
No, sorry, that's a comparable that I.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
So bring it to your attention. That was my second, yeah, we've been double siding them, that's confusing them.
Oh,
But,
okay,
the
here we
second
go.
page here, so it's a Perkins.
All right. Okay, no, that was my only question, something was wrong.
Okay. Ms. McClure, did you have a chance to visit the premises?
I have not inspected it on a professional basis, but I have been there.
Can you tell me when the last time it was inspected professionally?
No, I can't,
Okay.
no. I can say that, they went into, this building in 2013, so we would have had to license them in around that time, so.
Okay. Can you identify what was in there previous?
I can, it was a Kelsey's.
Thank you. Also, on your comparable number 2, and I
Yes.
think you identified it, but I missed it. What did you say that it was?
It's a family restaurant,
Okay.
yeah.
So, not, sorry, not then per se, just a breakfast restaurant as in the first one?
No.
Okay. Okay, that's all my questions. Thank you. If you'd like to proceed.
Sure. Thank you. In the interest of brevity, I'll just bring you to my page 4 to bring you to the attention to the foundation of this appeal. It's an email between Chris Mannerscheid, the owner of Perkins in Winnipeg, or the franchisee of owners of Perkins in Winnipeg, and Rocky, obviously. This is 1 month before the reference period. You'll notice it's March 16th, 2016. Yes, 1 month before the reference period. 1629 Kenniston is paying $27 a foot on 4,800 square feet, sorry. That does include the equipment from the last user. The assessor did admit that chattel is not taxable. This lease includes chattel. It would, much similarly, if a lease were to include utilities, you couldn't tax that as well. It doesn't attribute to the real estate value. This is chattel that can be removed and is not part of the shell building. For that reason, we are not relying on the 27 directly, and we do believe that it would be required to look at the market for comparables in order to reach a rent that doesn't include that chattel and is just for the shell building. My page 5, I have 2 pictures of my comparables, which are also on page 3. This is the 2 that I want to bring to your attention. This is 2250 Pemmonite is an Applebee's. It was built in 1989. It is 10 years older than the subject, but it has been, it's not in its original condition. And it's 125 Squarefield, which is built a bit older than the subject as well, but however, it was renovated in 2015. The Applebee's is a comparable business, and the Ben & Florentine is it's a breakfast restaurant. My rents for those are on my page 3. I have bolded the 2 of them, the 125 Squarefield being Ben & Florentine's, which is just down the street from the subject at $24 for 3,000 square feet. This was recently upgraded as well, and it was all upgraded in 2015 when they moved in, and it is a smaller size. So for that reason, we are using the Applebee's rent at $22.50, which is much more comparable in size and vintage. It's important that the reason in restaurants it is obsolescence is a huge issue, whereas state-of-the-art kitchens only really last for a few years, as it's a business that's constantly evolving. So a kitchen that was built in 1999 has many more deficiencies than the one that would be built in 2018. For that reason, I think that the Applebee's rent makes a lot of sense. This is built in 1989, but you can tell just by looking at it, it has been updated since 1989, and we know that to be true. And The size discrepancy, I will note, the owner has reported it to us at 4,800 square feet. That would be based on the lease and the money that changes hands. So the money that changes hands is $27 a square for 4,800 square feet, but that also includes furniture, fixtures, and equipment. So we, of course, have looked to the market for that reason. And for that reason, I would ask that you apply the $22.50 at the Appleby site at the 4,800 square feet for a total assessment of $119,280, which is about a $3,000 increase over, $2,500 increase over 2016. That is my recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions?
Yes, just starting with the leasable area. I do have the income and expense questionnaires here. You are aware that they do report to us 5,032.
I wasn't aware of that, no. Like I said, this is the money that exchanges hands. If you have that here, I would be happy to modify my number.
Okay, yeah, I do have everything that we've received, so it's 5,032.
I'm not opposed to just changing the size. Like I said, we didn't measure it. I'm going off based on what the owner said. So I suppose I can rework the number with the assessors, not with the assessors area.
Okay, so on your page 4, just to go through this, from Rocky, it says, what are you paying net? Is there anything unusual about the lease? Does it include equipment? Response, 27 a foot on 48. Then it says, did it include the equipment from the last user? I got everything that was there, so yes, there was equipment and furnishings.
Correct.
Nowhere in there does it state that it's included in the lease, correct? He received it, however, we don't have the lease here, we don't have that terminology within it, correct?
I mean, the owner saying that it is included, I think is fair evidence to say that.
You got everything that was there, so yes, there was equipment and furnishings.
So, I would argue that is sufficient evidence to suggest that he does have the equipment and furnishings that was in there, yeah.
Okay, and so when the previous tenant was there, was it a similar situation, or was the previous tenant the first tenant?
I'm not entirely sure. I would think that the tenant actually put the equipment in himself and then defaulted so that the equipment just stayed there. I am recalling this. I'm not entirely 100% positive, but I do recall that Kelsey's did pay for the equipment themselves and had no use for it. The owner didn't want to take it out because it would cost money, obviously, so he found a user that could rent that equipment as well.
So that equipment wouldn't have been included in Kelsey's lease?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. Are you aware of what that Kelsey's lease was?
No, it was written in 1999, I'm not sure.
Correct. It was written in 2001.
Sure.
Are you aware that there were steps within that lease agreement?
I didn't look at that lease agreement. We worked for Perkins.
Right. Are you aware that before Kelsey's left, their rent was $25 a square foot?
I'm not aware of that, no. Again, the real estate can go up, it can go down. So he found somebody that can take this equipment. I think when you're looking at the Kenniston Common area, it's aging. And people make the mistake of thinking because it's down the street from IKEA, it's as good. But this was built in 1999. This is a restaurant that is dated. There's no reason to believe that the rent will go upwards without any major renovations.
So you're saying there was no renovations done when Perkins took over?
No, Perkins may change some, as far as I know, they changed some signage and maybe some upholstery, but not the kitchen.
So you're not aware that there was permits taken out to move interior walls to make it more suited towards Perkins?
Again, to my knowledge, the kitchen was intact.
Okay. I believe those are my questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bess?
Perkins is a chain type restaurant,
Correct.
so they would have had to change all of the furnishings over the.
Yeah, they likely
decorations,
would have
et cetera.
upholstered or changed it. It is, the Kelsey's and the Perkins, it is very, very similar finishings. They may have upholstered things, changed colors, but the kitchen did stay intact.
Have you got a picture of the
I don't,
Kelsey's?
no.
Do you have a picture of the Kelsey's here? No.
No.
So you're saying the kitchen, they took over Kelsey's, so they got the a restaurant with a kitchen in, is that?
Yeah, and again, we're valuing the real estate. It is important that, often what happens is people will not differentiate their essentially a loan on the equipment or lease on the equipment and their real estate. They bunched into one, and when they report it to the city, they report it as so. It is standard appraisal theory that chattel, what like the assessor did mention, is not part of the real estate, or sorry, she mentioned that it wasn't taxable, but it is standard appraisal theory that chattel isn't part of the real estate value. So this is, the rent that would be achieved for the bare bones building would be likely something closer to what I, 2250.
Is it general practice that restaurants are always leased as bare bones buildings?
Lots of the times, it depends on the tenant mostly, yeah. A lot of the times you'll see small restaurants where the landlord is building out everything, and they just call it a rent. I imagine, from what we can see, a lot of the Kennison common areas, that is the case. I believe Joey's was paying upwards of $6 for that, but it just wasn't, it requires a bit of actual attention in order to differentiate the difference between the real estate and the furniture, or the fixtures, and that's why we're here today.
Thank you, that's all my questions.
It's just nice.
Yeah, again, looking at your pictures, I don't find 2250 Pembina on your list of comparable.
Sorry, I will, it's bolded about 10 down.
Oh, 2065.
Oh, right, sorry, 2250 is the rent. I just put that address in wrong.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so the actual address is 2065.
Yeah, that's a typo, my
Okay.
mistake, thank you for pointing that out.
All right.
It's all numbers early in the morning, it's,
Get more sleep.
yeah.
Okay, that was my question.
Thank you. So, you did not bring the lease with you, correct?
I did, no, I did not. We didn't actually, the lease, is, to my knowledge, doesn't, yeah, we didn't have the lease that we saw, we just, this is the email that we had.
And have you seen the lease?
Not myself, no.
And this was brought before the board on the realty side?
Yes, it was brought forward by Altus, it was not a client,
Okay.
I believe by Altus, so.
So this was a Kelsey's, became a Perkins.
Correct.
And, sorry, and have you visited the premises?
Unofficially, by the way,
Okay.
again.
And yours, I think you just stated earlier, you didn't feel that there was very much renovation in terms of the fixtures?
No, I imagine they would have put some money into it themselves, but there wasn't any renovation done by the landlord, and to my knowledge, no.
Okay.
They would have Mr. Buss is right, they're a chain, they would have made some sort of cosmetic
Yes,
changes, for
yes.
sure, yes, but no.
Because I understand there's a certain protocol and look that chains would have to
Oh,
follow.
of course, yes, yeah, but again, like I said, the furniture equipment was included, so the kitchen would have changed drastically, or at all.
And, because Kelsey's was a bar essentially. It's a bar restaurant.
It was kind of like a Montana's. I wouldn't call it a bar. It was more of a casual. It was I think it was more of a family place.
Okay.
When I that was the impression I got. I was 12 when I was in there, but
So you went at the bar.
well, no, they didn't have it. It wasn't only a bar. They wouldn't have let me in.
Oh my gosh, true confessions, okay. Okay, that's all my questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you so
coming
much.
today. And this hearing is open, thank you.
That would be it.